What's up, you guys? Today's video is all about new products from e.l.f. I'm trying out a moisturizer. I've got some concealers, a new setting powder, some matte liquid lipstick that I hadn't tried yet, some line and define eye tape, and a new bite-size eyeshadow palette that's only $3. Every time I say bite-size, I want to just bite this thing. Like, I can't stop myself. I know I probably shouldn't be putting random objects in my mouth right now, but YOLO. If you have not yet, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified whenever I post new videos. And if you want to see all of these new products in action, then keep watching. All right, I have absolutely nothing on my face yet, so we're starting out with the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Face Cream with hyaluronic acid and peptide complex. The container looks like that. This is $12 and I got this at Target. I got all of the e.l.f. products that I'm using today at Target, by the way. This is an ingredient-driven moisturizer. What does that even mean? We shall see. The key ingredients are hyaluronic acid, which helps provide hydration by locking in moisture and reducing water loss, resulting in a plumped up, bouncy complexion. It's got niacinamide, which is vitamin B3 to help brighten and even skin tone. It's got squalane, which helps improve moisture balance and elasticity, and peptides to help promote collagen for a more refreshed complexion. And then vitamin B5 helps soothe and hydrate the skin. I'm impressed with most of the ingredients. The only thing that I don't like about what I see so far is that it has fragrance in it, but there is a fragrance-free version on the e.l.f. website. And before I use anything with hyaluronic acid, I always wet my skin. So that's what I'm gonna do. And the reason I do that is because hyaluronic acid, it draws water to it. So if you have water on your skin already, it kind of helps the product work better. So I'm gonna just spray my face really quick. I'm using my Bioderma Soothing Refreshing Water, which is really extra and something that I love. The smell is not offensive, it's pretty light, but again, I don't think that fragrance in this type of product is necessary. I actually try to buy all fragrance-free moisturizers, skincare products in general, especially leave-on stuff, and that's because fragrance, while I'm not allergic to it, you can become really sensitized to fragrance, and it can also lead to co-sensitizing, meaning that if there's something else your skin is reacting to, fragrance can make it worse. So that's my only hang up with that. It feels really good. My skin is soaking it up pretty well, I think. And I'm not using primer today, so this is gonna be my only step before makeup. By the way, this moisturizer isn't new, but they did rename it. It used to be the Hello Hydration Face Cream, and now it's Holy Hydration Face Cream. Today I'm gonna be using the Scott Barnes method for my makeup, so that means I'm doing contour before I do foundation. I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, which is a satin finish. This is the newest version of the Camo Concealer. The first one they came out with is matte, and it is very matte, so I'm interested to see what the finish is like on this one. I'm using this both for contour in the shade Rich Ebony, and this is $6, by the way. You can get all of these things at Ulta, at Target, the e.l.f. website. What I did was just put some of the concealer down on my glass palette so I can work with that. It's really dark, so I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to be picking it up off my palette instead of putting it on my face directly from the applicator. And then I've got, let's see, this is a complete coverage brush from Real Techniques, a 221. It's just kind of a short, dense brush. And I'm going to pick up some of the concealer in Rich Ebony. And guys, I'm going to go really light-handed with this and sheer it out around the perimeter of my face and where I would normally contour. That looks pretty good. Might look insane on camera, but don't worry. Trust me. So I'm just going around the perimeters of my forehead and trying to round out my hairline just a little bit and create some shadows here. So far, so good. I think it's shearing out pretty well and it doesn't feel too tacky. That's the only thing I was worried about with like a hydrating concealer, is that it would be sticky, but it's not. And it's laying down on top of that moisturizer pretty well, so that's good. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more, and I'm kind of picking some up like this and then just really tapping it off so I don't have any stark lines. And yes, again, I realize this is very dark, but it's not gonna come off that way underneath foundation. Next, I'm going underneath the chin and kind of behind the ear as well. Just enough to create a shadow and keeping it very sheer. I actually really like the way that's blending. Okay, I'm gonna take just a tiny bit more and go across the tip of my nose. I'm not gonna do the sides of my nose, just the tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels. Okay, I grabbed a little lip smudge brush from Real Techniques. Just looks like that. I'm gonna pick up just a tiny bit of that dark concealer and go around the outsides of my lips to create a shadow. Dang. Looking good. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to foundation. I don't have e.l.f. foundation. I'm just using my old standby, which is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I'm mixing the shades 425 and 405. I'm doing 1 pump of 425 and 1 pump of 405. And I'm just putting that down on my glass palette. And then I'm gonna take my e.l.f. stippling brush that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's a dual fiber foundation brush. So I'm gonna use this to mix up my foundation and just kind of swirl lightly over the top of my contour. Kind of start here. Go over the lip line a bit. What I like to do is kind of apply foundation to all the areas where I don't have contour. And then last step, I kind of blend it all over where I do have the contour. And guys, if you haven't gotten a glass palette or something like this to work off of yet, what are you waiting on? It's literally the best thing ever and makes it so much easier to apply the right amount of product. It's kind of crazy how you can go from like a super, super dark contour color underneath and then putting the foundation on top and having it look amazing. But I think that's what's so awesome about doing things this way, is that you can use products in such a different way than you normally would, and it ends up being so perfect. Okay guys, what do we think? I'm gonna try to keep my hair under control. All right, so far so good. I'm really liking that. Okay, perfect. So next step is gonna be under eye concealing. I have 2 shades of that Hydrating Camo Concealer. I think I'm just gonna mix Fair Rose and Fair Warm. And then after I do that, I'm gonna be setting with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder in the shade Light. This is brand new. It says it sets makeup and creates a soft focus blurred finish. So I'm excited about that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open up my setting powder. Looks like that. And I'm just gonna shake some onto my palette down here. It's almost kind of a yellowy shade. Let me see if I can hold this up for you. But yeah, it's kind of yellowy, not pinky like I'd wanted, but that's okay. We'll see how it ends up working. I'm gonna get some of this makeup off my lips really quick. So concealer time. I'm gonna do just a couple dots of Fair Rose, which is very pinky. And then a little bit of Fair Warm, which is pretty yellow. That is very bright. I'm wondering how opaque this concealer is gonna be. That looks pretty good. As far as the coverage goes, I can still kind of see through it. It is pretty bright, but I feel like it's also kind of sheer. Like you can still see kind of some of the darkness under my eye. I wear contacts and sometimes I go a little too hard. I like shifted my contact in there. I still see some of that darkness poking through here. And I don't even have bad dark circles, so I don't know. Let's see if this setting powder helps. So I'm gonna use my Taupe Beauty Blendiful for setting today. I don't know if you watched my review, but I have relegated this product to powder only. Okay, so I'm picking up setting powder here and tapping out any creases that have formed. It looks like it's already starting to crease a little bit. I think the powder looks decent. And then I thought maybe we should bake and kind of really put this stuff to the test. So I'm gonna set and then we'll do some baking too. Now as far as like the texture of this powder goes, it is very, very finely milled, like super, super soft. No graininess to it whatsoever. So I really like that. And I would agree that it's pretty blurring. Like I like the way this powder looks on top of the foundation. Okay, e.l.f. Let me look up and see how much the setting powder costs. Okay, so the Halo Glow setting powder is $8 and there are 3 shades, light, medium, and deep on the e.l.f. website. And I think that's what I saw at Target as well. I'm gonna go ahead and tap some more out and do some baking. Okay, so I'm gonna fold my Blendiful like that and then pick up some powder. Other side. Yeah, this stuff is super finely milled. Okay, I'm gonna go draw a line. I almost can't bake with it because it's so fine and it wants to just like melt into the skin. All right, we're gonna let that hang out a second. We're gonna start on eyes. I have one of the bite-size eyeshadow palettes in Berry Bad. These are $3. There are 2 mattes and 2 shimmers in this one, or 2 metallics rather. If I can figure out how to open this thing. This is what that looks like here. So I think I'm gonna go transition color with this first shade here. Deepen the crease with this one and then use a combination of these 2 center shades on the lid. I picked this top that I'm wearing because I thought it was appropriate for this. I'm gonna do my transition shade first and then I'm gonna wipe off my bake. I totally forgot I bought these Line and Define eye tape strips. So these are individual strips you use to block off, you know, to line or to smoke out your wing. Heck, you can use Scotch tape, but these are meant specifically for that purpose. There's 40 strips in this package. Hopefully I can put this on top of foundation and concealer and it won't screw everything up. Totally forgot I had these. Dang it. But kind of how I roll. I'm gonna take my Morphe M518, a fluffy crease brush like this, and go into this shade here, this pinky shade. It's kind of like a dusty rose shade, which is one of my nicknames, by the way, and I'm not gonna tell you why. Okay, so this is pretty dang powdery. I don't know if you can see all of the kickback on this. Yeah. Okay, so definitely want to tap your brush off, but for a $3 little palette, what do you expect? There's not a ton of color payoff so far, but I'm gonna build it up a little bit. Okay, that's a little better, or a lot better, and I really like that tone. Ooh, that's blending really well. I like. Okay, same thing on the other eye. I think that blended nicely and looks really good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and dust off my bake. See, this powder is so fine. I don't know that it even did anything as far as baking goes. I don't know. Do I look blurred? I wouldn't say it's like super brightening or anything, but I think the finish is nice. All right, now let's see what we can do with this tape. I'm kind of nervous about this. Probably gonna pull all my makeup off and I should have done it on bare skin, but whatever. What I had in mind is kind of just winging things out. So kind of fluffing out color a little bit further than I normally would, and then bringing the lower lash line color kind of out this direction. So I think the tape will help with that. So it just peels off the paper like that. Do I look like Nelly, you guys? No, the trick is always getting the angle the same on both sides and having it symmetrical. All right, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna take that same brush that I was just using, my Morphe M518, and that same transition color, and kind of go in a little bit of a circle around the tape so it creates a little more smokiness out here and more of like a V. So just bringing it outward. This would be really good for doing wing liner with, obviously. I don't do wing liner all that often. I'm just not that into it. And I have hooded eyes, so it's kind of just not my thing anymore. Used to do it every single day. I don't know why. Okay, now I'm gonna take kind of a smaller brush for the lower lash line and do the same thing. I'm gonna use my shading brush from Real Techniques. This is a 307, and just pick some of that pink color up again, this one here. I'm gonna kind of look up and smoke out the lower lash line. Okay, moment of truth. What does that look like? Okay, not bad for my first try at this. I'm gonna just kind of soften up the edges. I'm gonna take my powder puff and kind of tap a little more powder over where the tape was. But I don't see any marks in my makeup from where the tape was. So that's pretty freaking impressive that it wouldn't take any of that off. All right, now I'm going to deepen up the crease a little bit with this matte berry shade here, the darkest shade. I'm gonna take this kind of fluffy but also a little flat brush, and it's from one of my Amazon sets. I'm just gonna lightly pick up some of this color, and there's a lot of kickback from this again, so you wanna definitely tap off the brush before you go in. And I'm just going to concentrate on deepening the crease, and then I'm also gonna do a little bit of an outer V here with this berry color. I think these blend really well, especially for being a $3 palette. You get 4 shades. Pretty impressive if you ask me. Now the other eye. Okay, now I'm gonna take kind of a shorter, flatter brush to kind of tight line to the lower lash line with this berry shade, the darkest one. Now I just need to decide how I'm gonna go about using these two metallic guys. They're kind of similar. Swatch them. Ooh, those are really pretty. I think I'm gonna take the slightly darker one and go this half, outer half of my lid. Ooh, that's pretty. And meet up with the outer V. That's really nice, especially again for a $3 palette. These would be great to travel with. You could get a neutral one and have it be the only eyeshadow you take on a trip. And then I'm gonna get the slightly lighter one. Go inner lid. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Yeah, that's too dark to be using on the inner. Okay, there's no like highlight shade. That's the only thing about this palette. I think they could have done like this metallic and made this like a pop, like a highlight shade for under your brow bone or inner corner. So I have a highlighter from Wet n Wild that I'm going to use to brighten things up a little bit since that was a little dark. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. This is kind of like a rose gold highlight. And I'm going to take that on my finger and kind of go over the top of that second metallic shade just to brighten things up a little bit. Yeah, that's a lot better. And I'm going to do a little bit on the inner corner here. Okay, and then last thing I'm going to do for eyeshadow is go along the lower lash line with some of that metallic shadow. I'm going to take that same brush that I used for the berry shade on my lower lash line and go into this shade. This is definitely my favorite of the two metallics. I pick a little bit of that up and go along the lower lash line. That is really pretty. This is really easy to use and I like this a lot, so definitely gonna be using that again. Okay, I'm gonna do some eyeliner. I don't have an e.l.f. eyeliner. I do have an Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in Hot Chocolate. I'm just gonna line the top lash line with this. Okay, that looks good. It's kind of an espresso brown, like almost black, but not quite. Okay, before I do brows, I'm gonna do my bronzer and the rest of my face makeup. I'm using Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. And I'm gonna take my Real Techniques powder brush, just pick some up, and go over the areas where we put the contour shade earlier. And then I'm gonna do my chest and neck. Really liking this eyeshadow, guys. Glad everything looks good so I can sit here and look fantastic while quarantining. Okay, I don't have any e.l.f. blush. I'm gonna use my Honest Beauty cream blush. This is Peony Pink, and I'm using my Morphe M554 to apply it. Pretty. Okay, let's do some lips really quick. I don't have e.l.f. lip liner. I'm using a Milani Color Statement lip liner. I think the shade is Spice. It's so small that I can't read it. The lipstick I'm using is from e.l.f., but this isn't new. I just hadn't tried it before and I wanted to. This is a liquid matte lipstick in the shade Praline. I wanted to point out that e.l.f. is cruelty-free and vegan, so that's pretty cool. All right, the applicator on this is kind of like that pointed doe foot, which I like. Let's see how this color looks. Ooh, it like matches my shirt perfectly. Okay, e.l.f. I love this applicator. It's really pretty and it feels like very lightweight. It's a little darker than I thought it was gonna be, but definitely don't hate it, and I think it goes great with the colors in that eye palette. Now we're gonna do some brows. This is also not new. It's kind of new-ish. But this is the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Taupe. I use this all the time and freaking love it. It's like $5, I think, and it's so good. I'm just gonna barely fill in my brows. This is nothing crazy. This is just as good as the Anastasia brow pencil, so I don't know what y'all are wasting your money on. Okay, I just curled my eyelashes, and then for mascara, I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I'm just doing top mascara. I'm not gonna do any bottom mascara today. I think we've done enough considering I'm not leaving the house. I'm really liking this matte liquid lipstick. It doesn't feel dry at all, and I don't think it's going anywhere. Okay, now we just need some setting spray. I'm using my Bella Jade makeup setting spray from Amazon. I've used one of the e.l.f. setting sprays and I did not like it. Maybe they have something new I haven't tried, but I didn't see anything at Target, so this is what we're going with. I forgot my fan to dry it. By the way, do you guys like my outfit? I've got sweatpants, crop top, no big deal. Okay, you guys. This wraps it up. Let's go through it and I'll tell you what I think the biggest winners were. I absolutely loved the tape for eyeliner or eyeshadow. I think these are great. The setting powder I really like. I'm gonna have to play around with it a little more to see what the best uses are. I don't think it's great for baking, but setting and just leaving like a really soft, smooth finish. I thought this was awesome. The concealer, It's all right. It's not anything to write home about, but it's a decent $6 concealer. The moisturizer, it feels good. I don't know if it's gonna make me break out or any of that stuff, so it's kind of hard to say with skincare right off the bat, but I will say I usually like my hyaluronic acid products in a gel or serum form and separate from the face cream that I use. So I don't know that this is gonna replace anything I use on the daily. Lipstick, really like this so far. We'll see how it wears. I think that was it. Again, I'm going to preach about this eyebrow pencil until, you know, they stop making it because I absolutely love it. I think it's great. So yeah, overall, I'm really impressed. Oh, and the eyeshadow palette, definitely a hit for me. I love this. So snag some of these babies. They're only $3. I love it. All things considered, I think it turned out really well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of the look. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that and ring the bell so you're notified when I post new videos. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in my next video.